It's another cook with me video. Whenever you see cook with me in the title of the video, it means that I'm throwing the doors of my kitchen open and inviting anybody that is interested in all the details of my cooking. That means we are not in a hurry. We are not looking at the time. We finish when we finish. I don't know how long this video will be. I'll be talking a lot. So if you're in for all the details, come in. Get ready, get a drink, get a snack, because we are going to prepare Diaspora Vegetable Soup, or vegetable soup for the Nigerian diaspora. Prepare a vegetable soup that someone with authentic, undiluted Nigerian taste buds can enjoy and get a little bit of taste of home. So come with me, let me show you the ingredients we'll be using to prepare vegetable soup for the Nigerian diaspora. I'll start with the main ingredient, the vegetable that makes this soup vegetable soup. This is frozen spinach. This is what it looks like. They wash it and squeeze it. Yeah, this small cube or whatever shape it is contains a lot of leaves. I love it. Some people ask me, can I use fresh leafy spinach? Yes, you can, if that's the only thing you have where you live. If you absolutely cannot buy these frozen spinach. The problem with that is that you need a lot of leaves. For instance, all these leaves here now can probably get you a handful of these ones. In several countries in Europe, I've seen this frozen spinach, but I don't know about other countries like Asian countries, Australia, and all these faraway countries. This one is known as Canónigos in Spanish, known as lamb's lettuce in English. I don't know if watercress is equivalent to this, because I don't have watercress here in Spain. I've never seen it here. I've only seen it in the UK, but in those days I didn't cook, so no time to be experimenting with all these leaves. So I don't know if watercress will be a good alternative to this. Here in Spain, they use this leaf for salads. They don't even cook it. But when we arrive, we try to find ingredients that act as what we have back in Nigeria and tweak them to fit our needs. So this one is a good alternative. Okay, the best alternative to water leaves that I can find. It behaves like water leaves when cooked. Yeah, kind of. Not really like water leaf, but it tries. Let me put it that way. And over here, we have palm oil. No, wait, it's not palm oil. This is the oil that I pour out when I make tomato stew. Yeah, most of you have already seen that in my videos. This is vegetable oil that I use to fry tomato puree. The right color from the tomatoes get transferred to the oil, giving it this palm oil-like look. You see how beautiful it is? So next time you fry your tomatoes, the way I fry it, you pour out the oil, put it in your freezer, and save it for when you want to replicate these Nigerian meals. It's not a great alternative to palm oil in all dishes, but for a vegetable soup, you can use it. For egusi soup, you can use it. Even for ogbono soup, you can use it. But it's not really good in ogbono soup, let me say that. But for vegetable soup, or vegetable kind of soups, it's good, but it's not good at all for soups like bitter leaf soup or soup, soups where you need a starchy thickness. It's not good. Yeah, it tastes so off. The red color will help brighten the soup, so it's better than using ordinary vegetable oil. And you need oil in your soup anyway, because if not, it will just be tasting like boiled vegetables. Yeah. And then you need onions. Some people can't buy red onions where they live. In that case, you can use white onions. It doesn't matter. So red onions or white onions, anyone. But if you have red onions, I'll advise you to go for that, because it adds taste to the soup. But if not, use white. It doesn't make that great of a difference. Yeah. And over here I have Knorr cubes. These are seasoning cubes. I'm sure everyone and anyone can buy seasoning cubes all over the world, or whatever you use as seasoning for meals wherever you live. Yeah, just make sure you buy beef flavor. So I'm going to use Knorr cubes. There are Knorr cubes all over the world. There are Spanish versions of Knorr cubes. These are Knorr cubes that we have in Nigeria, but here there are Spanish versions of Knorr cubes. If you don't have the beef flavor where you live, you can use the vegetable flavor. There's the one that is vegetable flavor. It's very common in Europe. So, and everywhere else in the world. They have the vegetable one, and they have the beef one, and they have the chicken one. So these are the three main flavors of seasoning cubes all over the world. Beef one first. If you don't have that, you buy vegetable one. As a last resort, you can use the chicken one, but I don't advise that yet. But you must have the other two. And this one is ham, bits of ham. This thing is very tasty. Ham is made from pork. It's pork. So a lot of people don't eat pork. If you don't eat pork, you can use liver, you can use heart, that's liver of cow, you can use heart of cow, cut it into tiny bits like this, and it will give you almost the same effect. But this one is really tasty. It's, you know, I keep stressing it in all my videos where I use spinach. Spinach has a very strong taste. It contains lots of nitrates, much more than our body needs. So you need a lot of seasoning, anything that can help mask that strong taste of spinach. You need it. If not, you won't be able to eat this meal. Yeah. And then here I have pepper. This is not hot and spicy pepper. It's just sweet peppers. In some places it's called Italian peppers, like here in Spain it's called pimiento italiano or something like that. In the UK it's called sweet peppers, but this is just a long pepper that has the texture of our tatashi in Nigeria. I do not recommend red bell peppers. Red bell peppers contain lots of water and they do not give me the same texture. That's why I don't recommend it. But if you don't have this type of pepper where you live, you can use red bell pepper as the last resort. And then this is beef. Use any soft, juicy part of beef. I often use ribs or shank. This one is the cheek of cow. And this one is Shaki. Shaki is from beef, is the intestine of beef, cow tripe. I believe Shaki is, sorry, all these are in plastic bag because they came out of the freezer. They haven't defrosted. I believe Shaki you can buy from anywhere you can buy beef, right? Because it's the inside of cow tripe. Ask the butchers where you live, they should have this. Here in Spain, there are special shops that sell just everything you can find inside a cow. From the liver to the heart to this cow tripe. I believe it should be the same all over Europe and in other parts of the world. Yeah, you need to be asking them these questions because in some countries, I heard that they throw these insides of a cow or any animal away. Yeah, sometimes you have to tell them what you need so that, you know, demand and supply. If you demand for it, they will supply it. So, and over here, I have cod. Do you know that stockfish, that fish we call stockfish, is known as cod? The official name is cod. And here in Spain, they eat it. They eat it, but not in the same state as we eat it in Nigeria. So here, they call it Bacalao. I don't know what it's called in other countries, but I'm pretty sure that this fish is in every country. There's one in Spain here that they add a lot of salt to. Please don't buy that one because it will mess up your meal. Even when you wash off the salt on it, it's still very, very salty. It is not palatable at all. If you live in Spain, I bought this one from Mercadona. In fact, all these ingredients here, most of them are from Mercadona. And now, this one is shrimps. This one is just shrimps. It's doing the job of crayfish. Our Nigerian crayfish is actually this, but roasted till very dry, crunchy dry. The link to how to do it will pop up on the screen right now. So I'm going to use this one without turning it into crayfish. But if you don't like seafood, if you don't like the taste of shrimps, you can dry it in your oven, then grind it and add it. Normally we use habanero pepper or cayenne pepper. If you have cayenne pepper where you live, you use it. But I'm just using this to be universal. Remember, this is Diaspora Vegetable Soup. So I'm going to use black pepper. You can also use white pepper. Any pepper that can bite, yeah, it's good. It doesn't matter. And this one, I like the flavor of black pepper. I'm looking forward to the kind of flavor it will add to this soup, yeah? And this one is salt. I guess that's everything mentioned. I'm going to wait for all these frozen ones to defrost. It takes a while. This is in the morning. It might take till evening for all these to be completely defrosted to how I like it. I don't use microwave oven to defrost this because it actually it cooks it, which I don't want. I don't want to cook it. I want it to defrost on its own. So while we're waiting for the frozen things to defrost, it's actually hours later from when I introduced the ingredients. So They're halfway there, yeah, but while we're waiting for them to completely defrost, we're going to prepare the lamb's lettuce. If you have seen my other vegetable soup where I used this Canónigos in Spanish, but lamb's lettuce in English. If you have seen me prepare that other soup, that other vegetable soup, I talked about them packing this vegetable soup with the roots. So you need to meticulously, it looks like this one doesn't come with the roots, eh? Anyway, let me bring my tray first. It looks like this one doesn't have as much root as usual. Let me see. It looks like they've heard my cries because cutting out those roots take a lot of time, yeah. Man, ooh, no roots, eh? You see? No roots. There's something I can still see here that is quite sharp, a little bit sharp, yeah. If this thing jams your tongue while you're eating the vegetable soup. But anyway, I'm going, okay, look at this one. This one has the roots. This one has the roots, see? It's not good. So I need to meticulously cut off all of them. And in the process of cutting them off, I will be slicing these vegetables at the same time. Okay. I am a great advocate of, okay, you're not seeing me. In the that other vegetable soup video, a lot of people were like, why did you should have washed the vegetable before cutting it, you're washing away the vitamins and all that. I am a great, if you've been following me for a long time, I am a big advocate of washing vegetables several times, even with salt, depending on the source of those vegetables, yeah, before slicing them, yeah. But for this vegetable, it's one of the most challenging vegetables to cut when it's wet. It's actually dangerous as well because it's quite slippery. When it's wet and you're even with the sharpest of knives and you're cutting it, the knife will be slipping on it, you know, going close to your fingers. No, I wouldn't advise anyone to cut these vegetables after washing them. If you have the time, actually it's been washed. They say it's been washed. Lavados means it's been washed, but I always wash all the vegetables or fruits that they tell me that it's been washed. I wash them again in my kitchen. So if you want, you can wash it, put it out to dry, and then before cutting, I don't know, but I don't have time for that. So I'll slice it at the same time while I cut off the roots because it's more efficient that way. You see what I'm doing? This is what I'm doing. I just cut off this part and then slice. So good. Like I said in the intro, they use this vegetable for salad here. They eat it raw. They just put it in their salad, but when you boil it, oh my god, it has that mushy effect in the soup, just like our water leaves. That's one of the first culture shocks you face when you leave Nigeria and find yourself in a faraway country. You start experimenting. Any leaf you see, you try it to see if it tastes like ugu or water leaf or green amaranth here, till you find the right one. You don't know how many pots of soups have been thrown away in Nigerian homes outside Nigeria before people come up with something they can eat. I remember in those days, one of my friends in the UK, she used to use spinach to cook soup. I could never eat this. I could never understand. I said, why are you eating this? I'd rather go and eat McDonald's. I know that I'm eating meat and bread. Eating that meat and bread was a culture shock for me because it didn't make sense at first. How can you be eating meat and bread? I said, said, even that one I've gotten used to it, but you see this spinach, this your spinach, I'm not going to eat this thing because, oh my God, nothing like Ogo at all, but I can't believe how used to spinach I am now. I'm telling you. All these things take years and years of adaptation and tweaking before you can get there. Your taste buds will get there. So after about 1 hour of meticulously cutting these, here we are finally. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Look at the stubs. Into the bin they go. And then I rinse these ones. Then let's prepare to cook the meat. Some people can't stand onions in soup. That is Nigerian soup that they will use to eat a fufu meal. Yeah, that's very understandable. But because of the strong taste of spinach, I highly recommend that you add onions to this vegetable soup. Yeah, I know. A lot of people cannot stand onions in soup that will be used to eat a fufu meal there. Spinach has such a strong taste, so anything that will help you mask that taste, you want it in this soup. Yeah, I cannot understand when people add onions to egusi soup. It makes me nauseous as I watch them cook it, not because of me putting it in my mouth. No, I can't. So yeah, but if you absolutely cannot stand it, then you can skip it, but it helps. I'm going to combine red and white because I have it. But like I said earlier, if you don't have red, you can use white. If you have red, you can use only red. Yeah. Now let's cook the meat. Okay, no, we need to chop the shaki. Yeah, let me know, like I asked earlier, can you buy shaki where you live? Can you? Let me know in the comments. Because I believe anywhere you can buy meat, you can buy this. Yeah, this is not indigenous to Nigeria. I understand that in some countries, they may not regard this as edible. It comes from inside the meat, so it should be thrown away or something like that. But yeah, let me know if you can buy it where you live. You don't want the meat overpowering the soup to now become meat soup. Like some people were telling me in one of my vegetable soup videos. They're like, why did you call it vegetable soup when you added meat? And I'm like, no, this is not vegetarian or vegan soup. Yeah. Put it in the pot. So we have the shaki in there, the leaf, onions. If you don't mind onions, add plenty, add plenty. The same with seasoning cubes. Normally for this quantity of soup that I'm cooking, it's quite strong, eh? For this quantity of soup that I'm cooking, I'll add 2 wraps, but I have to add extra 2 small cubes. Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen this inside of this Knorr, you see it comes like that, 2 small cubes like that. Yeah, in one packet, or in one wrap, not packet, one wrap. Yeah, right, this thing is strong. Pour water. There's another way to do this. You can cook it a little bit without adding water like I've shown in my previous vegetable soup video, or you can pour water. I just want to pour water because I know this is going to be a very long video, so I don't want to be doing all that. Right, then you start cooking. This pepper is just to give the soup a nice color. You know, when you have some red color peeking out of the green vegetables, it looks better than just a mass of green. Doesn't look appetizing. Yeah, it's not hot and spicy, nothing. Cut it as tiny as you can. I like cutting it with a knife because I don't want to blend it, and you don't want too much pepper in there. I see a lot of people, they say they're preparing vegetable soup, but it ends up looking like stew. In Igbo land, anything that looks like stew, we can't use it to swallow. The lump of fufu will not go down. It will not go down at all. It will be stuck in your throat. In my Ofaku video, a few people were like, but this is banga soup, not stew. It's not stew. In Igbo land, we call it stew because we can't use that kind of sauce. Okay, let me now use a neutral word. We can't use that kind of sauce to eat swallow in Igbo land. A lot of Igbo people cannot use that kind of sauce that is so red like that. Yeah, we can't use it to swallow because it won't go down. It just won't go down. Should I add more? Should I? You know the usual way. I add, stir, look at it, add more if necessary. Next, we need to chop the frozen spinach. You remember in the other video, I talked about when it's half thawed, yeah, that's the best time to cut it. But then, because I brought that one out the night before, that happened in the middle of the night, if you remember that video very well. But in this case, I brought this one out in the morning. This is almost evening now, it's about 6 p.m. And look at that. It's about half defrosted. That's the best time to chop it even further. So that's what I'm going to do now. So just chop it like that. So as I'm chopping, I'm putting it in here to continue defrosting. Still February here, so the weather is still quite cold. Takes a while for this to defrost. If you can't buy lamb's lettuce where you live, you can actually cut this thing so tiny. It will be supple enough for the soup to be so soft in the soup. All these ingredients that I'm mentioning, if you want to know what it's called in your country, like in the country where you live, just use Google. Go to Google, enter lamb's lettuce in Turkish, in Greek, in what else? In French, yeah, in German. Just type it in Google.com and you will get the name for the language of the country where you live in. The worst case scenario, if you can't find it, if you can't find the exact, maybe what comes up as the translation doesn't make sense, you can take the image of these things in the video and show a store assistant. They will help you out. They know all these things. Okay? It's very easy to find what you need in this digital age. See the fish? See how soft it is? It's quite soft. So you have to be careful with this fish. It just needs a little bit of cooking. So I'm going to cut it into small pieces. I don't want it big. This is our okporoko in obodo oyibo. When you smell it, it actually smells like okporoko. It's called, again, you can look up what it's called in your country, the country where you live. You can look it up on google.com. COD. That's what stockfish is called, officially called. I don't know why we started calling it stockfish, but you know, we're unique. We always call things whatever we want to call them. Okay, this is it. Obodo oyibo okporoko. Diaspora okporoko. Yeah. And next, we need to clean the shrimp. This one, they just removed the shell, they didn't clean it. You know, in Nigeria, you get one that has the visible line here. See this thing? This is the shit. See? In Nigerian crayfish, we don't remove this thing. We just dry the crayfish like that. So if you have ever used Nigerian crayfish, that means you have eaten this. But Ndi Ocha told us to be removed, and we are removing. When you don't remove it, people will come for you. Yeah, if you've eaten crayfish before, be rest assured you've eaten this and you didn't die. Yeah, I know. In crayfish, it's not so obvious, you don't see it. But in this one, it's right there, staring at you. So you cut it open like that. And remove it. See that black thing? It's the poo-poo. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm just going to use a handful. I don't even know why I left all of them to be first, but yeah. It's 360 grams, so I used about half. That's 180 grams. About 1 cup. I finished removing it, rinsed it, and because we are not big on seafood in this house, I'm going to chop it into pieces so that it will kind of disappear in the soup. My children don't like this. I don't mind it, but I don't really like seafood. The children don't like seeing it at all. So I'm going to chop it up. You can leave it yours like that if you wish. Can you see it? Can you see it? Yeah, I'm just chopping it up. So you benefit from the taste, but you don't see it. You don't see whole shrimps. Meat is done. Meat and the shaki are done. So remove from the pot. As always, this water here, I added so much water because I was cooking with a pressure pot. You need to add water to the minimum level, like my pressure pot has a minimum level that you have to add water to. if you want to see how I cook meat without a pressure pot and have the right amount of water at the end, the link will be in the description box below. Then I have the pot that I'll cook with ready. I decant the water in there. As always, this water is damn too much, like at least 5 times the amount of water you want in this pot, you know, because I used a pressure pot. So I'm going to boil it down on high heat. On this channel, no, wait, let me cover this and show you my face while I say that. As I was saying, on this channel, we don't save stock. Yeah. Let me explain what happens when you boil down stock. The only thing that leaves the pot is vapor, which is water, pure water. That's the only thing that, it's evaporation. It's simple evaporation. Those who studied chemistry will understand this. It's just vapor, which is water, steam leaving the pot. All the flavor will be left inside the pot as the vapor leaves. Vapor is pure water, nothing else is in it. Yeah, so you're not wasting it by boiling it down. It's not like you took the meat stock and poured it down the drain. No, it's not at all. Whoever made you believe that, please stop believing that. What happens when you remove some of the stock and put in your freezer to save for another day is that you are denying this vegetable soup that we're cooking today the full flavor you should have gotten from the meat. You're also denying yourself the nutrients from the meat. Yeah, you know, for those of you that are nutrient hunters, this is the nutrient and you're removing it. No, stop doing it, please. Whatever you're going to cook tomorrow comes with its own meat and fish, or yeah, whatever animal you're using to to cook it. So don't deny today's food full flavor in favor of tomorrow's food, when tomorrow's food will come with its own meat and fish. It's a bad practice. I want all the flavor from this meat to go into this soup, and the only thing to do that without the soup being watery is to boil it down and allow only water to leave the pot, leaving behind all the flavor. Another way to illustrate it is, get a cup of water, add 1 teaspoon of salt in it, stir it very well till all the salt has dissolved, taste that water, then put that water in a pot, boil it down a bit, or boil it down till almost all the water has dried up, and taste it again. This is a good illustration of what happens when you boil something down and allow the water to evaporate. You will find out that the boiled down water is saltier, much more saltier than the one you tasted before. It's because it's only water that left the pot. The salt is in there. Okay? So maybe that's how I can explain it. It's just concentration of liquids. So from today, please, if you haven't stopped already, stop saving stock this way by cutting it in half and putting it in the freezer. No. The worst part is that most of this stock never get used. They just stay there in the freezer, because you find out subsequent meals you cook come with their own meat and fish, and you always have lots of saved stock in your freezer that you never get to use. All right. The rest of the ingredients are ready to go into the pot. This is the lamb's lettuce chopped, the pepper, the sweet pepper, the ham, the shrimps, black pepper, stockfish, that's cod, bacalao. Find out what it's called in the country where you live. Then the frozen spinach has fully defrosted, but I still need to press out the water. That's what I'm going to do next. You see all the water that came out from it? I still need to press it out. Our pretend palm oil is over here. And this one is still boiling down. That's still a lot of water. So we're waiting. Yeah. want to press out the water. See? Lots of water. It's a lot of water. If this spinach goes into the soup with all this water, it will just be watery. Yeah. And it won't be tasty. Be tasting spinach water, spinach water. But if you want the nutrients, you boil it down. You take this water, I'll show you. You take this water, put it in a pot, boil it down like we did the meat stock. Yeah, boil it down as well. You can put anything you want, but boil it down. Just that I warn you. I'm holding my ear virtually. Yeah, telling you that the soup will not taste as delicious as when you remove the water. See it? It's all the water that came from that. Down the drain it goes. I don't need it. You see, it has boiled down. It's even thickening. To show you that every other thing in the pot is still there except water. So it's thickening. Add the oil. Add the ham. Shrimp. Stockfish. The ham is already cooked. The shrimp doesn't take time to cook, especially as I cut it into tiny pieces. This fish is already half cooked. The pepper. If you're using palm oil to cook, please check out my other video. Black pepper, and as much as you can handle. Stir very well. Ooh. It's coming together. It's coming together. Add the lamb's lettuce. Yeah. Oh, the oil has disappeared. Just one leafy vegetable, the oil has disappeared already. Okay, and continue cooking. Yeah, you can see the absence of palm oil. See all that water, you'll be wondering where that came from. All these vegetables can vomit water. So far, I've not added salt to this meal because seasoning cubes contain salt. That ham, if you taste it, is all salt. That bacalao, that's the cod, contains salt. Shrimps have a salty taste, so you need to be careful with adding salt to this. No palm oil. Then you see the importance of palm oil. It doesn't look bad, does it? You can add more red pepper. That's sweet pepper, but I don't want to see lots of that in my soup. Have you liked this video yet? Have you? Have you? You're not part of the Nigerian diaspora. Please like. It's not bad. Woo! Woo-hoo! Diaspora Vegetable Soup. You see, for us, we don't eat a lot of salt in this house. For us, this soup doesn't need any more salt. Walai. Doesn't need any more salt. Has the perfect salt for us. So I'm going to take it off the stove now, move it to this side, and dish it in a cool container immediately. Yeah, I know. Remember, this is cooked with no palm oil. Yeah, you can add more pepper, the red pepper. Tastes good, smells nice. If you don't like the smell of seafood, don't add, skip the shrimp, because I can smell the seafood. As we say in my job, it's good enough for seismic. It's good enough for fufu. Alright. It's good enough for fufulicious enjoyment. As always, I put it on the floor to cool down completely. You can see that the only thing missing here is the color. Color is not as bright because the palm oil, which is the main ingredient that gives this soup some kind of color, is missing. I didn't want to add too much pepper because I don't want it to look like stew. You know, this was the first time I prepared this soup. And as I was preparing it, so many other ideas were coming to me. So I'll upload other versions of this Diaspora Vegetable Soup using other ingredients. I will also upload a version where I use leafy spinach. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Have you liked this video yet? Have you? Bye bye. See you soon.